after work hours, then we could just be, our family again. Because sometimes when I'm just working, I'm in work mode, and it's just like, he definitely takes the back seat. So I know how hard it could be to work and still maintain a household, cook, clean, and it's very tasking. But I would suggest that if you write down a schedule, even meal prep things, it'll get easier.
Thank you so much for sharing, Ms. Eason. So, managing being an essential worker, do we have any essential workers on this call?
Yes.
If you don't mind, do you mind sharing how it's been? Just thank you, first of all, for being an essential worker and being out here during this crazy time. But if you don't mind just sharing how you've been managing being an essential worker, yet still having to homeschool and still having to like maintain your family. Do you mind sharing?
Sure. Well, right now, what I'm doing is I've been using my vacation.
Okay.
So they gave me a certain amount of hours to use in the beginning when school first closed. So now I'm at the point where I'm using my vacation, but that will be done by next week. So I can't imagine how hard it's going to be for me, because it can be very stressful with, I take my hat off to you guys, because it's hard doing homeschooling. So I can imagine how it's going to be once I go back to work next week. I don't know how I'm going to do it. So I guess I'll have to speak with Miss Engineering as far as how I'm going to be able to get his assignments in after 4, because I wouldn't be getting off until 6.
And
yeah,
like
about that.
And with this, communication is key. Like, trust me, we understand. Like it's difficult. We have essential workers, we have parents who are working from home, and just still having to maintain your household. So reaching out to us and letting us know, like, hey, like in your case, I'm back at work. Assignments won't be done until after 4. That's like totally fine. Not saying that like everyone can do that, but like in cases like that is like totally fine. We definitely understand that, and anything to like make it work for your family.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Do we have any other essential workers on the call? If not, that's okay. Okay. Now, managing working from home. Do we have any families who are currently working from home on top of homeschooling?
Yes.
Hi, Miss Curtis.
Hi. Oh, yes.
How has it been going?
That's what my problem is all since we started school from home. Go back there and get the headphones. If you're going to do that. All right. I've been trying to, that's why I work been later, how work been missing. I've been having meetings in the morning, trying to do all my work for work in the morning. And I just been getting some conflict with work, trying to do her work and my work. So I'm trying to do everything at once. And I wanted to see, like, do y'all have a deadline that everything got to be in for the work? Or can I just, like, can y'all make a deadline, like, in case people have to work from home? Can you put a deadline so we don't have to have everything done on the same day? I'm working from home and going to school from home. Can you give us a deadline that we can have everything for that week that the work could be in instead of every day that we got to be in?
Yes. So I totally understand what you're saying. And right now I can't make that change. So right now, technically things are due by 4. However, we're leaving all the assignments open and we're not grading any of the missing assignments. So any of the missing assignments, you can go back at a later time and still turn them in. So right now you can still do that.
Okay. And one more thing. When is, because I see everybody else getting their report card. Did we ever get a report card for this market period? Or
Not yet. Report cards is going to come out next week, and we're going to have conferences.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome. Families, we do understand like working from home, whether you're working, whether you're in school or different things, and still homeschooling is a lot. Doing it with my nephew, it is a lot. I do understand it, but thank you for everything, still getting their assignments in, and on a timely manner. And if not, like still reaching out to us and letting us know. So we just want to thank you for that. Now, some homeschooling tips and tricks. I have a few families who would like to share some things that's been working for them. Elijah's mom, if you would like to share.
Hi, everybody. So I think we are a little bit lucky in that we have more than one child here. So they are often able to help each other and help themselves. But we also have a schedule. It's a lot looser now that they have the different assignments throughout the day, but they know what time they have to start. Everybody's waking up at the same time every day. They're logging on by the same time every day. Lunch is the same time every day. You know, we're not doing any video games before the same time every day. So it's been about a lot of, if they finish their work on time, it's a lot of, you know, well, what else can you do, kind of being creative to a certain extent, whether that's like building Legos or all the toys that we purchase for them that they don't really play with. You know, just really trying to stretch the day out so that I can get it done. I do often have to tell them a lot, you know, if you're working on something and you need help with it, but I can't help you, then go on to the next thing and then just don't submit it and I'll come back to it. So when I get a break, then I can come back and take a look at what it is that, you know, they need help with or wherever it is. So then I kind of force that to fit into what my schedule is. My husband's also here, and so there are times where they'll be able to go and ask him if he's not working. So they've actually had to learn a lot about managing time too, right? And not stopping the ball because this particular part can't go as it would have. You know, they've learned, because I can tell you 8 weeks ago, it was certainly like, I've got a question, I need an answer right now. And they've gotten better with understanding, okay, you're gonna have to wait because I'm actually working and I'll see you in, you know, when I get a break, I'll check in. Hey, what is it that you need help with? Can I help you with anything right now? So.
Thank you so much for that. So I'm hearing like scheduling is like really working in your home, as well as like building independence. I'm realizing that like whenever I do call and check in, like Elijah's coming to you for you to check his work. You're not like sitting there with him like every step of the way. So he's become like a lot more independent and computer savvy.
Literally.
So.
I mean, they would start at the beginning. It's like, my internet is not working. I'm like, well, I would show them a couple of times and it's like, okay, why don't you try it on your own? And sure enough, they do figure it out. I mean, they play a lot of video games. They know a lot about electronics. So, you know, they figured it out and they can get the internet back connected. I've seen him connect Bluetooth headphones to the, you know, to the Chromebook. So they can figure it out, and it's just, you know, we show them. Sometimes it's frustrating for me, and I'm like, oh, I told you that already, but you know, they're getting better. They've gotten a lot better just by showing them a couple times how to kind of work through something on their own. So
yes. Thank you so much for sharing those tips and tricks. Hopefully like that can work for like other families, just building independence and a schedule. I also have Zanai and Zaven's mom. She has 2 in 1st grade, and she's been like doing a really good job with like getting their assignments in. So if you would like to share what's working in your home.
Hello, hi everyone. Yes, I have 2 that's in 1st grade, and I also have a 4-year-old, and I'm 7 months pregnant myself. So it's a lot, and I'm working from home. I also work in a school, but I work for Early Head Start. And dealing with at work who are, some of them are very frustrated because they're losing their minds with their kids, trying to keep them sane. They're calling me every other hour asking, oh, have you heard anything about school opening yet? And I'm telling them we haven't heard anything yet, but once we do, we'll keep you updated, trying to keep them calm, and then managing my kids home, getting their work done. I just try to make sure that when they wake up in the morning, the first thing they do is the morning message and the question of the day, just to make sure they're getting their attendance done. And then when they're getting a little overwhelmed with work, I let them take a break, and then they will come back and finish the rest of the work.
I think that's a really good idea. Like making sure that question of the day is like the first thing that they do, and then whenever you have time, tackling the rest. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome. And my daughter is a 9. She's a little bit faster than her brother. So when she's finished her work, she likes to go off on something else. She was like, "Oh, I'm going to do the typing." I'm like, "But that's not the assignment you have to do today. You gotta go back to your assignments."
Kyrie's mom would also like Miss Autry to have some advice and tips. So if Kyrie's mom, go ahead.
Hi, everyone.
Hey.
Well, I really do the same thing. Like, I just make sure Kyrie do the morning message, and then I let him do, he really like to do Zern and A to Z reading, so I let him do the things that he like to do first. And I give him a little break, and he eat lunch, and then maybe around 2 o'clock, I let him come back and do the rest before 4. And then he have older siblings, so, you know, they're in middle school, so usually if I can't help them, they usually help me. So that's how we usually get through the day, because he really can't sit by himself, so he have to have somebody sitting here. So if I can't do it, they're at the table, so they all like kind of work together. And he know if he can't finish his work, he can't play the game. So he like to finish his work so he can play Fortnite.
I said it's more than 50 pounds.
That's a really
It's always good to have a reward after.
Yes.
And that's really like, that's his push. If he start to act like, oh, I don't know it, or I don't feel like doing it, or he start to act up, okay, well, no game today, and then it's just a whole 6. So that's how we've been getting through it.
I really like that. Incentives always work for kids, like, and rewards afterwards, because it is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot for them staring at the computer, or like just not being in the classroom setting where like there's more structure. They feel like, I'm home, so why can't I play? So I really like that you hold him accountable and make sure that like he gets a reward after.
Yep, so that's really my goal. So we've really been getting it through. So he's been doing good so far. Let's keep it up.
Thank you so much for sharing.
You're
Is
welcome.
there anyone else that would like to share what's been working for them?
Yes. Hello. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
That sounds like
Okay. Now, this slide is about stress management. The meme says when everything is falling apart, but you're trying to stay positive. We know that this time is very stressful for all of us. No one knows what's happening. The news it feels like things are just getting worse and worse. We now know that we're not going to be going back for the rest of the school year. And I know that makes a lot of us very sad. It made me sad because I really do miss the kids. But we do have to like try to stay sane during these crazy times. And one thing that's been like helping me is like meditating, trying to like stick to a schedule where like I'm logging off of the computer at a certain time and like taking time for myself. So if you guys have any tips on what's been working for you to like stay sane, I know that you guys are like feeling it the most. You guys are working, you have the children at home, you're teaching, you're doing a lot. So how have you guys been like staying calm and sane during these crazy times?
I drink a glass of wine a day. That's alcoholic. Oh, somebody heard me. Did I have it on mute? Oh, shit, I didn't have. Oh.
In the chair.
I think one time that you can take time to yourself is when they're listening to read aloud and phonics, right? Because read aloud and phonics, they're just listening to the video. There's not much that you have to necessarily do at that time. So I think during those two videos is a good time for you guys to just like take a minute and get away from your child and just like take a break. If you agree with that decision, like definitely do it. Unless you still need to sit next to them, but that's a good option to take some time to yourself.
Mommy, no.
Yeah, that's what I do. Normally with Lamar, around that time, that's when I have to take a step away from him because my grandfather is currently in the hospital with COVID-19. So it's been rough for me to work with him and to focus on him and, worried about my grandfather. So every so often I feel myself getting stressed and I don't want to take it out on him. So during that time when he's doing the read aloud and the phonics, I'm able to walk away, and take some time.
Mm-hmm.
We're definitely going to keep your granddad in our prayers, and hopefully he has a speedy recovery. But that's like a really good idea, like just taking time to yourself and to worry about like other things that are more important in that moment. So I think while they're watching the videos is a really good time to like get away, to like walk away.
I think it's also okay too. I mean, we follow a schedule most days, but if something isn't working on schedule or I've got more going on at work than normal or whatever the case, I think it's okay to say, you know what, not right now. I'll come back to you. I mean, because if you're getting them, if they get started on the day early enough, right? If we're talking about 9 a.m., from 9 to 4, there's 7 hours, and they don't have 7 hours worth of work. So if you can't, or if I can't deal with it right now, just knowing it's okay. It can wait a little bit. Not right now. We'll talk about it in a little bit, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think another thing I learned is like to let the kid be a kid because we are in the house. So more things are gonna happen, right? We're gonna have a little uptick in some weird behavior and just weird things. Like my son poured all the mustard on the floor and was like completely closed off, just run. And I just had to just let it go. He gets in the shower like 4 times a day now, and it's like he's not bothering anybody. Like I just gotta let it go. So also just probably letting them just be a little more wonky.
Yep. Okay, so for this slide, thank you guys so much for sharing. For this slide, it's what's to come. So there are some changes, and Ms. Romanos is going to speak on that.
So we've been hearing some of the feedback in regards to, especially in the beginning, when you guys had to upload pictures, right, for phonics and read aloud and their work. That was removed. So we heard that feedback, and Teaching and Learning was able to remove that requirement. So you no longer need to upload pictures of their work for read aloud and phonics. Another piece of feedback that has been taken into consideration has been increasing the workload. So starting next Monday, there will not be read aloud and phonics every single day. There will be phonics on 3 days of the week and then read aloud 2 days of the week. So instead of read aloud and phonics every single day, it's going to switch. I believe it's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday phonics, and then Tuesday, Thursday read aloud. But it's definitely 3 days phonics, 2 days read aloud. And any other changes we'll always communicate to you guys. But again, like other families spoke about, like having that schedule and getting in the morning message and question of the day before 12 is of utmost importance. And then just some other, like not necessarily a change, but something that you might notice that your classroom teachers are like keeping a lookout on more for reading A to Z. When you submit and turn in, we are going into reading A to Z to count the number of books that your scholar read that day. So if it shows that they listened to 2 books, it won't be counted as 100% for that assignment. The expectation is that they're reading 2 books. So for instance, if they listened to one and read one, that would only be a 50% score on Google Classroom. They need to read 2 books for the full 100% score. And then for Zern Math, in order to achieve the 100% score as well, they need to finish the Zern lesson that's on Zern and then do the exit. They need to finish this lesson. So hopefully a lot of you have been getting those lessons done on Zern first and then doing the math exit to get that on Google Classroom. If you have any questions about Zern, please let us know.
I'm sorry.
Thank you so
I
much.
can't get the reading, the what? Oh, I'm not. Hello?
Hello?
I cannot somehow the reading part where you pick the book at. I cannot get it on my laptop. I don't know how to get it. I went through Google Class and I keep going through it, and it's not letting me go through the phonics, the math, everything. It's just not letting me go to the RAS. I think the RAS where you read the book.
Are you logging in through Clever?
Yeah, through Google, the Google Class. That's what I'm logging through.
Oh, you would have to log in through her Clever. You would have to log in through her Clever account, and then on her Clever account, it's going to show the RAS Kids symbol, and you click RAS.
Okay, so Clever. Okay.
You can go to login, your teacher has a login too. And then your child's name will pop up and their books will be there too.
What's your question? Did you have a question?
Audrey, I have a question for you.
Yes.
With the changes that was made, as far as the write about reading, I understand we're no longer uploading. I have to upload the picture. How are we showing that that work was done now?
For writing about reading, you are uploading a picture. For read aloud and phonics, you are not uploading a picture. Does that help?
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right.
So write about reading, we still need a picture for that, but phonics now is optional.
Google Doc.
So you still might have to
Or
go.
you could type it into Google Doc.
Yes,
Doesn't
in season.
necessarily have to be an uploaded picture.
Yep. Are there any other important questions or concerns or any feedback that you would like to give?
As far as the Mobley app, should they be doing that as well?
No, that's more so for exceptional learners, but if your child is finishing earlier, they could log on to Mobley Max and do like extra work, but it's not required.
What are you doing?
Can I go eat?
Look, right.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for everything. Hopefully, like the tips and the different ideas from other families was helpful, and hopefully like the changes that were made about read aloud being only 2 weeks now and phonics being 3 days a week is like a relief for you. We have been hearing your voices, we have been hearing your concerns, and we've been taking that into like our leadership meeting. So with you voicing your concerns, that's why that change was made, because we had to fill out a survey. So we are listening. We understand at this time it's difficult. We understand, but this is now the new norm, and we have to like get used to it. So hopefully the tips and the tricks helped, and hopefully that can help with you and your household. Thank you again for this call. We're gonna try to do this call another time when another big change happens. But other than that, hopefully this was very helpful.
David, question before we all log off. Just because this is going to be like ongoing for a longer period of time, have there been any plans to have them kind of like log on so that you guys are teaching them? Only because, like I said, I can keep him where he is, but to move him further, that might be outside of what I'm capable of. I don't know how to do it. Probably don't have the patience to do it. So I'm just,
So I think what you're referencing is like instructional live teaching, right?
something, yeah, along that line where they just like the Zoom party, like how we're here and then someone's teaching and, you know.
So to be honest, we don't want to introduce any other major changes for this rest of the quarter. So for the rest of this school year, that won't be taking place. But let's just say, God forbid, this is happening next year, then that will be what takes place. But of course, that's depending on the state, depending on the governor, depending on what happens for next school year, that's up to them. But God willing, we are in school next year. But as far as the rest of this quarter, it's staying as just Google Classroom instruction. We are thinking of moving into some office hours where we can have like an office hour and then the scholar can log on to Zoom and check in with their teacher and ask questions. So we will be doing that and you will be getting more information about that. Does that help?
Speaking of the changes, I have some questions. Are there any changes to the last day of school, being that we're going to be doing this at home from now on?
No.
That's
still the same.
But it's
still the same,
right?
last day of school.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and I'm sorry to ask this, but we're not really having an issue getting the work done or any of that. We're having more of an issue with our well-being, like our overall well-being and mental health. So how much longer do the students have to do this before they're considered passing?
Before they're considered, what was that? I missed the last part.
Passing to the next grade.
You said passing to the next grade?
Yes.
But I think it's not necessarily that they're passing to the next grade. I mean, like, you don't want them to miss out on information that they'll need for the next grade level. So, like,
Sure, absolutely. And I understand that. It's just, everybody's experience is a lot different. Here in my house, I have a special needs child. I have 2 kindergartners. And so the amount of attention that I can give them is vastly different. I can't even have a schedule because I have to have my 2 boys do something different to make sure that I can be there at the same time for both of them when they need my help. So, I just don't know how much of our well-being, this is doing.
So are you asking, like, for example, like how much longer will Google Classroom stay in effect?
Yes.
Okay, now I understand. All right. So Google Classroom will go on until the last day of the school. And I hear what you're saying, and maybe that's something that you can touch base with more on your scholar's particular teacher, but Google Classroom will go on until the end of the school year. Again, as Mr. Shore said, it's an attendance thing. It's showing that your scholar was in school and was learning and that they actually finished the whole year. But again, like, please definitely reach out for help and support.
Yeah, you guys, the most important thing to remember is that it's just as if they were in school like a regular day. So it's like you wouldn't want them to miss a whole last 2 to 3 weeks of school. You wouldn't want them to miss it online either. But I do understand where it can be just challenging having to meet so many different needs. But again, I think as Ms. Romano said, if you speak with your child's teacher, maybe a one-off situation, there can be some adjustments with assignments and just the amount of work that's given to that particular school.
Our social workers also came up with a social emotional learning platform that is going to be launching really soon. So scholars will be able to like log on and watch videos to help them also stay sane during this crazy time. So when that comes out, we'll be giving more information on that through Class Dojo, Google Classroom, and different things like that. Once again, thank you guys so much for logging on. Hopefully this was helpful. If we get any other information of any big changes, we'll definitely like reach out to you guys through Class Dojo, Google Classroom, and our phone calls and text messages. So once again, thank you and enjoy the rest of your night.
Good night.
Miss Autry.
Yes.
Good night, you guys. Thank you,
Before
Miss
the parents
Autry.
leave, is Siege's mom on?
Not sure.
Yes.
Zaven wanted to tell her, can she tell Sieja happy birthday because he didn't get a chance to say it yesterday. Said she should be able to hear you.
Happy birthday,
Sieja. Say thank you. Thank you.
Oh.
You're welcome.
Happy birthday, Sieja.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sleeping. Hi, Miss Engineering.
Hi, David. I miss you.
Me
Hi,
too.
Leah.
Hi. Okay.
Thank you, families. Enjoy your night.
All right.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you all.
Bye. Thank you.
you.
Hold on.